Um, we haven't quite decided if the playback is going to be made available. We're going to let Spirit move us for that one. Um, and consent, yeah. And if you've seen the last playback, I cut out people's faces, and so you don't have to worry about your picture being shown. If you specifically don't want your voice to be used, you can go ahead and, sorry, y'all. If you don't want your voice to be used at all, that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and DM us or send us an email, either one, text us, whatever the case may be, and we can do that for y'all, no problem, because consent is definitely key. But welcome to this space. My name is AJ. I go by AJ the artist, Emoji Boke, the whispering medium, AJ Samar, half of AJ, sorry, half of AJ, half of Ande J, and half of Airy Adventures. And I'm so happy to have y'all here with me tonight. Y'all looking gorgeous, either live or on video. I love it all. Either is welcome in this space. However you show up, we appreciate and we're grateful for that and for you. I'm here with Ande as well, who's just talking to y'all. You know, my other half, my other twin, Airy Adventures, Ande J, period. But today we're going to be having an event called The World, and it's AJ Samar storytelling, meditation, and world building. I apologize in advance for the miscommunication. There was an issue on the flyer. The world is today, and BitterSweet is tomorrow. But yeah, moving forward, we have the agenda just so you have an idea of what's going to happen tonight and you can kind of follow along. Right now, we're doing our welcome. Next, we'll move into introductions before guided meditation led by Ande with some sound bowl healing from me. And then we'll settle into AJ Samar's story time before taking a break. And then we'll have collective dreaming and world building where we discuss about the story and some other questions that we have on our hearts and minds, and maybe questions that y'all might have on your hearts and minds. And then we're going to take another break because, period, we're trying to be easeful and take this thing slow, prioritize our needs, like getting something to eat, getting some water. Definitely want to make sure y'all have something to drink, especially water, through this event, using the bathroom, all that good stuff. Of course, feel free to take breaks as you need throughout the event, but those are just the built-in events. And then we'll be moving into a collective reading for the group. And we'll finish off with some sleep support, mojo bags, herbs, oils, teas, dreams. We're going to talk about all that good stuff, do a little share back, a little announcement, and then that'll be it for the evening. So if y'all consent to that, give me a little react, a little, make some noise in the comments, whatever. Thank you for that heart, period, Tiara. Yes, thank you, period. So, of course, we did our check ins. Period. Hello, beautiful. We are glad that y'all are here. Every single one of y'all in this space is bringing something unique, something that's valuable, something that's lovely, which is just you, however you decide to show up. So if you haven't already, feel free to drop your name, pronouns, any phonetic spellings if you'd like to help us pronounce it, where you're coming in from, and how you are coming into this space. I already see a lot of really great responses in the chat. So honored that y'all would share with us. And also throughout this event, feel free to raise your hand or come off mute. Like y'all's voices are welcome in this space as well. If you want to shoot us a message and have us read it off, in the comments, that's fine too. Either one. But yeah, however you want to show up, however you want to flow through this. Yeah. All right. So introductions. Again, my name is AJ. I go by she, they pronouns, preferably they in this space, but she is also acceptable. I'm a disabled Black, queer, trans, non-binary, um, vacuuming, sorry y'all, non-binary, multidisciplinary artist. They've been vacuuming all day. I'm a chameleon, shape-shifting through creative and healing practices. I'm an artist, a healer, a photographer, a stylist, a designer, dancer, event curator, creative director, project manager, MBAJ, herbalist, spiritualist, and the list goes on. In addition, I offer sound healing using my voice and sound bowls in practice In my practice called AJ Samar, which is a bit of what we'll be doing today. I create art inspired by and centered around my personal and communal experience. So I'm so grateful to be in community with y'all because all of this informs my practice. I strive to create the beauty that I need to see in this world with my creations that are centered around community, healing, self-care, self-pride, harm reduction, and awareness. So I'm gonna pass it on to Ande.
I'm Ande. I am, y'all know who I am. But anyway, I just do this because I'm practicing doing this. Yeah, I am a multiply disabled, chronically ill, Black, queer, trans, anti-binary spirit babe. I was born in Nigeria, raised in the U.S. South. I am an artist, a healing arts practitioner, a decolonial care worker, and mental health advocate, disability justice advocate, facilitator, a teacher, a lover, a silly goofy guy.
Okay.
I facilitate intuitive movement and meditation sessions with my bestie Love Marie, who is here. Shout out to you, bestie. And also independently and with AJ. I also do creative and educational workshops, and I just be out here, loving on y'all and trying to figure out ways to get free. I have a background in STEM and all this stuff that's real, but education, science, I be weaving it all in there. And yeah, so I'm happy to be here supporting AJ with this because, yeah, a lot of this is a brilliant idea. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. So I'm very excited to be here and just to be basking in this. But not I'm still facilitating a little bit, but I'm a featured guest.
Okay, a lot of this comes up from things we talk about and things that we bounce off of each other. So it's gonna be a great time. All right. Next, we're gonna move into, why are you acting like that? Land and liberation, would you? Oh, you want me to do it? Okay, cool. So we're currently residing on the traditional lands of the Maya people. We acknowledge that this land is the home and traditional land belonging to these people. I honor and give gratitude for the Maya people who are still caretakers of this land. I commit to caring for this land and for my body as we are interconnected. In reminder of what it means to keep one body safe when so many are not, let us take a moment of silence in gratitude that we are safe in our bodies today and safe to gather here today. We mourn the loss of life, liberty, opportunity, pleasure, rest, and love of Black and Indigenous peoples facing genocide and oppression in the US and the global South. We bear witness to and pray for the liberation of Palestine and Congo and Sudan and Tigray and Haiti and Mali and Myanmar. We commit to caring for ourselves and others as essential to continuing the work to dismantle white supremacist capitalists, neo-colonial forces of oppression that seek to diminish us. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Now let's take a moment of silence. We got community agreements. Shout out to Ande and y'all because this is a communal building. So if y'all want to add any community agreements, feel free to drop those in the chat, say them out loud to yourself, whatever you want to do to bring those in. But my body is my greatest teacher. I commit to honoring my body's innate wisdom by listening non-judgmentally and responding compassionately. I know myself best. I commit to honoring my body-mind's needs, pacing myself, and choosing the participation level that aligns with my current and evolving capacity and desire. Take space, make space. I commit to remaining intentional about how I take and make space, and to uplifting those most marginalized in the space, keeping in mind that marginalized folks have varying levels of privilege depending on the space and those present. All right. So now I'm going to pass it to Flow with the Day to lead us in some breathing and meditation.
Are you gonna mute or? Hey, y'all. All right. I'm just gonna be freestyling and let spirit move me. Actually, no, I had remembered that I had pulled some cards before this, and I actually wanted to share a little bit about the cards. I pulled from the Starseed Oracle deck because I really love this one in terms of like just the world building vibes. And one of the cards that I pulled was the weight of the world. Can y'all see that? The weight of the world. Yeah. It says boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So right now, just thinking about releasing the weight of the world. And yes, we do have, our individual responsibility to do our part in the world, in the world building and, taking care of each other. But it's not, you putting all of the weight of the world on your shoulders alone. And it's knowing, when to let things go and when to have boundaries so that you're able to rest and replenish and get back to it. And yeah, the next card that I pulled also about to drag too. It says water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. I'm like, yeah, cannot make this up. It's like in this time, it's so, so important to take care of our physical bodies and to take care of, this literal vessel and the fact that that's what connects us to each other. That's what connects us to the physical earth and how important it is. Like rest is in this, like getting free is just, it's not a sprint. It's going to be a marathon. And like the revolution is not, a singular point. So, just being able to continuously rest and continue to show up as we can in each moment. And then the third one that I pulled said, loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. And I'm like, I'm not even reading what the book says yet. And then I'm telling you, like, this dragged me. And it's just like, yeah, in this time, like we're looking for coping mechanisms. And sometimes that can be going to things that are not necessarily the healthiest for us. And sometimes it's just like what we need to get by in the next moment. But just like that, let God in, and not even just like God as in, just whatever your understanding is of that, but just like thinking of the divinity in you and thinking about like how much like having the boundaries, resting, nourishing our bodies is so important in being able to cope moment to moment because it's really wild out here right now. I'm not to say it hasn't always been, but like things are really, really, really at like a bubbling point. Like it's very heated right now. And for us to continue to keep carrying on, like we're gonna have to rest. And Ashe, like I'm so grateful that we even have the ability to come here and like talk about resting and regulating our nervous systems and being able to be with each other in this and talk about the fact that like, yeah, it's like it can't just be go, go, go. It can't just be, oh, the world is burning outside and I have to just keep acting like everything is okay. So, with all that being said, I invite you to just drop everything. Let this moment and this space be a landing, a soft landing. Feel held both by yourself, your spirits, and the universe. Inhale that support and exhale a sigh of relief that you do not have to carry it all at every moment, that you can drop the weight, that you can lean on your sibs, your family, your comrades, your spirits to help you carry this load. That you can know what is yours and what just isn't. And just breathing, not feeling like you have to do anything to your breath. Just knowing that your breath is constantly here, supporting you, ebbing and flowing as you need. And so in this time, I invite you to sink into whatever surface that holds you, and maybe put a hand on your heart or whatever part of your body you feel called to, and just ask your body, ask your breath what it wants to inhale, to receive, to have more of, and also what it wants to let go of, what it says you ain't got no business holding on to, or what it says, can we just take a pause right now? Yeah, we'll pick it up later, but just not right now. Just ask yourself without judgment, just giving yourself permission to accept whatever it is that you need. And maybe it's just to be right now. Release the urge to strive for answers. Release the urge to do, and just sink into the being of who you are. And if it's available to you, connect to your heart, whether that be by drawing attention to your heart space or by putting a hand over your heart right now. Connect to your heart and just breathe in what it feels like to have something that supports you unconditionally. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to say the right thing. You don't have to know anything. Every day, your heart shows up, day in and day out, supporting you, allowing you to show up here with your unique being, the beautiful formula that is you, necessary for the overall formula that is us, the universe. Knowing that your innate being, your eminence, your inherent value comes from the fact that no one else can be you. No one thinks like you. No one talks like you. No one moves like you. No one feels like you. And all you have to do is show up and be just like your beating heart. And that is enough. And just like your beating heart, sometimes you will change in rhythm. Sometimes you will change in intensity. And that is all beautiful. And that is all part of the unique, beautiful, wild, and gorgeous world. Continuing to breathe, knowing that you do not have to strive. You do not have to change, and that you will continue to change. So you do not have to strive to stay the same. And showing up every moment as you are authentically, just like your breath, just like your beating heart is enough. Enough as in everything. Everything as in all of us as in necessary and needed and loved and cherished. Your words have meaning. Your opinions hold value. And above all, your presence is cherished. Breathing in these truths, accepting the ones that resonate, letting spirit meet you where you are, knowing that your ability to create is as innate as every breath. Your ability to accept change is as innate as every breath. Your ability to show up, your ability to breathe, that is what we need. Nothing more. Rest knowing that this is true. And ever you feel that you cannot hold these, know that your community is here to remind you. Your spirits are here to remind you. The land is here to remind you. The water and the trees, the birds and the butterflies are here to remind you that exactly who you be moment to moment is beautiful and vast and nourishing. And you do not have to be anyone else. And you do not have to do more
or be more than your capacity. Because together we have all that we need with community and with spirit. There is balance and there is bliss. And now I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose, whatever that means for you, and sigh it out through your mouth. Bring some movement into your body, asking your body what that movement might be, and coming back into this physical space as you are ready. Thanks for being here, y'all. Whew.
All right, so invite y'all really to get comfortable, grab what you need, maybe some water, a blanket, a couple pillows, some tea, whatever it may be. And I'm gonna do some sound bowl healing, but inspired by Ande, before I hop into that, I do want to read the card of the day and also offer up Ehime Ora's ancestor set of the day. Um, so for December 2nd, which is today, we have you carry yourself wherever you go. Make sure you're a safe place for you to be. And I feel like that was just really like on brand for everything we've been talking about, like returning to your home, knowing that the world that we live in is a scary place. It's an evil world we live in. And but we're safe in our bodies, like in the land and liberation we are safe in our bodies and we can retreat into this space that we've created internally when the external is, real turbulent. And so just making sure that we're doing these meditations, doing the self-care, doing the communal work, whatever the thing is, the healing, the dancing, the inner child play for this space, this vessel, this home to be a safe place to be. Make sure you're a safe place for you to be. Really love that. Say it again. I love it. I love that. And the card of the day today was Big Mama, the sun. I posted her on Instagram, but for those of y'all who did not see her, this is Big Mama, the sun. And the Bible verse is a Bible verse that's like very near and dear to me. So I felt really filled by the fact that this was the card of the day, especially being that today is a 222 day, and I love a numerology. And if you know, 222 is my angel number, but 12 to 23 got that beautiful message in there, and it's Second Timothy 1 chapter 1 verse 5. I am reminded of your sincere faith, a faith that dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and now, I am sure, dwells in you as well. And, even if you don't really prescribe to the Bible, just as a quote, I think that that's really beautiful and really necessary in this time to remind us that we need faith in this time, and the faith that our ancestors have is the faith that we can also have, and it can even build, generationally, so that we can build up this faith and build up these resources that hold us and carry on these different skills, attributes, ways of being, ways of thinking, ways of living that can really fill us up and really just last and tell the tale of time. Time isn't real, but at the same time, things are going on in the future and the past and present all at once. So I really love that. The plant for Big Mama, the sun card, is sunflower. And that just makes me think about like happiness, smiling. Like, I just love a good sunflower. I don't know about y'all. Yeah, definitely need to get one from the florist. But Big Mama is holding a plate of homemade cornbread, period, with the sun shining brightly behind her. She wears a skeleton key as a necklace to symbolize her all encompassing wisdom. Big Mama is a term of endearment for the matriarch of one's family. It's an acknowledgement of her wisdom, strength, authority, leadership, skills, and ability to nurture multiple generations. Traditionally, all elders of both genders or all genders were to be respected for their qualities, but no one is bigger than Big Mama. As a caregiver of so many children and the transmitter of family history, lore, spirituality, she is the family's jewel and guiding light. And I really love that because this is really what we came here to talk about today. We need to tap into the dreams, to the visions, to forward and back to figure out, how we're going to move and how we're going to exist in this space and not just exist, but thrive. So I really love that we're being called to remember the wisdom of our ancestors today through the Big Mama card. Like the sun, the matriarch is warm, centralized force without whom growth could be impossible. So, for us to grow and to move forward, we're going to need all that came before and all that is now. When you receive Big Mama in a reading, you better believe that no matter how dark it is now, the light is coming and everything is going to be all right. Big Mama may also be speaking about being willing and able to share your glory, your light, and your power with others. This is not the time to lay low. This is your time to shine. Some questions that you might want to reflect on, if any resonate while I play my singing bowl for the Big Mama card. Do you fear being brilliant or successful? What is truly being highlighted by the sun? It's okay to be the center of attention sometimes. What does enlightenment mean to you? Who are the important players in this situation? Am I exhibiting a positive attitude? And positive there, I don't want even to think about like good or bad, but we're going to talk about the doom and the grief and all of those things too. We're going to get into it. But what attitude are you exhibiting, really? And what do you need to do to look and feel your best? So, the question? Yeah, I definitely can. Do you fear being brilliant or successful? What is being highlighted by the sun? What does enlightenment mean to you? Who are the important players in the situation? Are you exhibiting a positive attitude? Or I added, what are you exhibiting? What type of attitude? And what do you need to do to look and feel your best? So I'm gonna wait for this trucky truck to pass, and then I'm gonna get into the sound bowl for a few moments. Can y'all still hear a lot of noise in the background? Okay, wonderful. All right, so we're gonna be playing the third eye. I'm gonna be playing the third eye singing bowl for y'all. So, you can just get comfortable, relax, and if you'd like to receive the healing of this sound bowl, you can go ahead and consent to that and just open yourself up to receiving it. You really don't have to do anything except consent. If you got a soundboard and you'd like to play, go ahead and play it, pull it out. If you want to sing, dance, whatever you want to do, we're going to get this sound healing going, right? Period on day. I want to get a drum too. And as I play, remember to breathe. You can either take deep breaths or you can breathe at your normal pace. Both are welcome and valid in this space. And now we're gonna get into the story, AJ Samar, story time. So you wanna get comfortable and listen to me tell you a beautiful story. I'm very excited. I love this story. I love this book. If you know anything about AJ Samar, you know I be trying to read y'all Calabash of Cowards every chance I get. Yeah, get comfy.
What is time?
Okay, what is time? Literally. I'm very excited. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to be reading from A Calabash of Cowries by Louisa Tish. And this is Ancient Wisdom for Modern Times. And it's from part one, The Calabash. And the story is the creation story. Also, there is some beautiful artwork that I put up for y'all with scan pages right at the beginning of part one, which is depicting As Above, So Below by Nedra Williams, created in 2022. And I think that's really beautiful and on brand for this like world building, world bending, collaborative conversation that we're going to be having as a community and with spirit. So I really wanted y'all to see that and get a good glimpse of it because it's really, really dope. I like it a lot. Yes, of course. The creation story. Every culture has a creation story. They vary greatly. Creation stories were designed to explain the coming of material reality and to guide the behavior of human beings in relationship to it. In this rendition, I have integrated elements from several myths found in the diaspora. Note that according to African belief, the snake is not an evil creature. Instead, he represents the depository of ancestral memory. In the beginning, at a time where there was no time, all that existed was the great silence. In the dark depth of the cosmic womb, Nanabuluku. Within the womb, Olodumare, the great egg of the world, sat in patient potential, waiting for the fated moment of its hatching. Suddenly, a sound burst out from the center of the egg. Ooh. Then the life-giving particles in the egg quickened and set into motion a tremendous bang, causing creative air spirits to dance among themselves in the form of gases. Some danced themselves into fire, others clashed and collided into the fireballs spinning through the deep blue of space. In the frenzy of their joy, Mau, the moon, and Lisa, the sun, were born. They leapt and tumbled together and formed Yemaya Olokun, the ocean. Then great masses of land erupted from her depth, forming the earth. The rushing hum of the ocean splashed itself against Earth's shores. Sun stepped forward to perform his solo, and the moon laid back to cool herself off in the upper deep. As the sun performed his slow drag over the surface of the earth, life stirred in his rays. In the depth of the sea, things began to form. A single cell divided into two, making seaweed, hydra, and fish. The crab crawled out of the water and found that on land, life was moving. Seeds burst open, forming flowers, trees, and fruits. Spiders crawled, birds flew, and bush cows roamed in the forest. A blazing heat permeated the earth, causing all things to stir and take shape. But the sun's heat was overwhelming. Things were overdone. So he receded, and the moon brought forth her dance. She circled slowly through the night sky, cooling the earth, settling the seed, calming the waters, and leaking a mysterious ray of subtle light, ashe, that tempered everything on earth. The moon called out, alarmed by the magnitude of the work they had done. Her cry resounded to the depths of the earth, and up from the center came the rainbow serpent, Dambala Huedu. The serpent wrapped himself around the earth and the sky, holding the two together like a covered calabash. Sun and moon smiled at the work of the serpent. Within his ring of power, the celestial couple made love and brought into being all the deities in pairs, twins in all things. On the planet's surface, below, the palm and banana trees swayed in the wind. Birds sang, fish swam, and the bush cows roamed in the garden. So
can y'all this Mexican cookie and bust.
Oh my gosh. Can y'all you see the screen? So this is the Nana Buluku card of what is it called again?
Child? Oh no.
What happened? Oh Lord, sorry y'all. The Nana Buluku card. And of course, we talked about Nana Buluku in the story. And then we also got Maulisa, Cosmic Power. So I wanted y'all to see these with your eyes. Wow. So if anybody want to come off of mute and talk about this story real quick. I know Ande has some things they want to say, but you know, if somebody else wants to say anything, any comments, like did y'all like the story? Were you feeling it? Any of that, you can also, of course, put it in the Chizzy chat. That works as well. No, you had something you wanted to say about it. Did you want to talk about it? Yeah, but what people talk? There was a lot of things that stood out for me personally in this story, but I'm gonna talk in a second. Also, if y'all want me to go back to anything or say anything again, let me know. The pages for the story, in case you want to get the book and read the story, pages 40 to 43. And it ends on a 7 page, which I find very interesting. Come on, dogs. I find it very interesting because, of course, this is a 7 year that we're about to end, and the story ends on a 7, and this year is about to come to a close. A lot of things are happening in this world, and child, we need this creation power, these new seasons, and this cosmic power more than ever.
There was a line that, well, one line that I want to talk about, right, that like stood out to me. The heat caused things to stir and take shape. And just the imagery of that, and also just like how sometimes we view like being in the fire or being in the midst of like just a season of unrest, or like personally when we're just feeling like my feet are to the fire, like what am I gonna do next? Is when like the most
Yes,
beautiful
I can't
things
hear
will.
you, baby.
You can't hear me? Hold on. Let me try to change my
Okay, there you go.
microphone.
I can
Can
hear you now.
you hear me now? Okay. I changed my microphone on the thing. Hello, testing 1717 testing. Okay. A line that resonated with me was heat caused things to stir and take shape. And it's like during those times of like your feet are to the fire and feeling like, damn, like I gotta make something shake, or something has to change, something has to happen, or something is going to happen. And we don't know if it's gonna be for, we don't know what it's going to be for. So just that, having that like language to say like the heat caused things to stir and take shape, and thinking of like a creation story, like the fire, the heat caused things to come together and to manifest in the world. And so I love the switch. Lately a lot of like themes of reclamation and language that we've always used being reimagined, and so like now I'm thinking about heat and fire very differently. Instead of it being like things are being destroyed or done away with, it's like, nah, things are coming to life because of the fire, because of the heat.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, the technology is technology anyway. But no, that's so good. I think about that too, because even in one of my meditations, I had thought about that when it's like it talks about like tending your garden, and about how like it's so important for like when a seed is growing. Like if it's only cold water, like a seed is not going to sprout. Like you need warm water to like soften the seed coat. And that is what caused something to burst. So it's like I hear what you're saying about that term in terms of that heat, like it being not just like, yeah, like fire can be destructive, but also it's like a catalyst. If you think about like in chemistry or whatever, like you had to put the heat on to get things going. The reaction don't go if, you don't have that heat. But I also love in the story how like, yes, it's like you have that the sun comes in, does the big one, it gets heated up, and then it's like, okay, but things were being overdone. And that like, okay, we need to go back to like cooling things down. Like, and also just like going back to that whole thing of like, yeah, it's a communal effort, but also everybody don't have the same talents, the same strengths, and all of that is necessary. Like if everybody coming in the same way, coming in hot type A, yeah, 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 things gonna get heated past whatever, it's not gonna give. But then the moon comes in, and then Damballa comes in, and everybody has their part to play, and it's just like such a beautiful poetic thing. And also just thinking about like in this creation story and in many creation stories, even if you think about like the Bible, like that rest being so important, like it being like it can't just be go, go, go. It is about like this community coming together and like doing and things coming together in their due time, like sprouting, but also seeing like, okay, like we can rest. We don't have to like, it's not go, go, go. Creation or, making a new thing isn't all about movement. And it's I feel like a lot of these like, in like political movements and social movement spaces, it'd be like, oh, if you have to be like out there protesting, you have to be the person who's doing that. It's like, no, we all have a different part to play. And also, we can't always be doing that all the time because we will burn out. That's not sustainable. It's like if the creator knows that it's not sustainable to just continue going, then we take lesson from that. And I love that.
I love that a lot. Thank you for sharing, both of y'all. Ooh, one thing that really stood out to me was change in, let me go back so y'all can see it too. The change where we're talking about roaming around in the forest, right? So the birds crawled, the birds flew, the bush cows roamed in the forest. But by the end of the story, the cows are roaming in the garden. And I think that that's really, really beautiful and really specific and important because like the way that those two sentences are structured, like they're very similar in nature. It's very repetitive, but that garden really jumped out to me. Like there's other things that changed too, because of course there's like a lot of new birth happening and all these different things. And I'm like, that's good. I feel like yeah, when it's individual people using their talents and making these beautiful flowers, like that's wonderful, that's beautiful, it's necessary because each flower is necessary. However, when we take that a step further and bring that individuality to the community, bring those unique like specific things about us to the community, now it's not just a flower or a bouquet of flowers, it's a garden. You feel me? And the garden is good. The garden is going to bring abundance, it's going to bring healing, it's going to bring, you know, more creation, more birth. Like I just thought that that was really beautiful. And also in my hoodoo tarot deck, the world card is the garden. Yeah, I was just really sitting with that garden piece and the world being a garden. And right now, like our world might not feel like a garden, but like what is it going to take for it to get to that, or for us to create a garden? Because if it ain't this one, cool. But the garden, the world card is looking like this. I hope y'all can see that. And the Bible verse is Isaiah 58:11. It says, "The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail." Ashe. I think that that's some good medicine right there, regardless of where it came from, child. Like that thing hit when I seen it. I said, come on, because we need that duality. Like Ande was saying, like it can't always be fire, 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 go, go, go. Like we hot. Sometimes we need that rest. We need that cooling down. We need that slow drag. Yeah, like it's not linear. It's gonna ebb and flow, and the two are necessary because the combination of the two is the completion, is the birth, is the what's gonna go from generation to generation. So I thought that that was really cool.
Okay,
Personally,
you spitting. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No.
You on mute?
Yeah, I think I'm on mute.
you're not on mute.
Oh, damn, why you didn't say shit?
It just came on just now.
Oh, okay. I'm like, can you hear me? I'm okay. Can you hear me? Is this thing? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Yeah. So, Genesis, the book of Genesis and God, the garden has like always just been like something to me, and just something that always pops out. Like I look at things in my journals, I look at things in my song, and I'm always talking about a garden or a flower or something to that nature. And I think like just the origin story of things, it really like sticks out to me, because I feel like when we look at the garden and we think about the origin story, we like often like think of like, damn, that's when we fucked up. Like, everything was wrong when, well, my creation story that I know is the Bible. You know, I'm Christian, I guess. I have Christian beliefs, but so it's like, damn, why Eve ate the apple? Like, why, whatever, mistakes. And I think we need to like just look at it from a different viewpoint. Like they had like an opening, like the devil saw like an opening, like an opportunity or a weakness that they had, and he manipulated her into eating the apple. It wasn't like she was just out there willy-nilly like, oh, like whatever. And it wasn't a moment, I think it wasn't a moment in time when they ate the apple that necessarily was the problem. Is when God came and they was like, he was like, where y'all at? What's up? What's good? And they was like, Adam ass ran. Like just snitched, and he was like, she made her eat the apple. And I feel like it's when we lost that trust in God and was like hiding from God, because God is all knowing. He knew like he knew what was good. Like, so what are you hiding from? Like, what? I don't know. So I just think that story really popped out for me. And then one of my realizations, or one of the things that came up in like one of my meditations, or when I just have like my divinations or stuff like that. It was just like that moment in time, like the earth signs and fire signs are trying to find balance. So like the sun card is Leo, and then the devil card is the Capricorn or whatever. And I feel like we're burning each other up. Like, I don't know. Sun represents life and all those type of things, and like joy and all those type of things, all the things that we think are fun. And the devil card is more so like the negative side, like manipulation, like power and control. And I feel like we have issues with like control with power and fun and joy and different things in different ways. So I don't know. Those are just some things that came up for me that I want to talk about. I don't know if that even made sense to anybody.
No,
But
it made sense.
Okay. I was like, but if y'all want to talk,
it just also makes me think too, because like, I'm sorry, I'm just go there, being raised Christian and like being spiritual now, like I just think about those stories and things that could have possibly and definitely did change in translation, all kind of stuff. And like, I really like this story because Teach like combine different African creation stories to make it. And like, I think it gives a very broad and like full story, whereas like the Christian version of the creation story for me was like, it's missing some. I feel like y'all were holding some information. Like I need a little bit more.
Like, what's the whole piece?
Okay, I love how there are those like similarities and like synchronicities of like the garden and like the serpent and this and that, but then things have different meanings. Like I really appreciate that. I'm like, yeah, say it plainly from the beginning. Like this serpent is a very powerful like creature in African spirituality, in beliefs, and it's not negative in that same way. But white people be telling themselves, because the Bible, I'm like, y'all talking about some people manipulating people. Who manipulating people the most? Who making people turn themselves away from what they know to be true, to hide from themselves, to feel like, oh, I'm naked, oh, I'm without, oh, I'm not enough, oh, I'm a sinner and God don't not gonna want to talk to me, don't want to use me. Who is really the serpent in that situation? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you're really telling on yourself. You're really telling on yourself, and that's cute because it's like balance, like you said, like, oh, the hot spicy things that we think are fun, are great, are wonderful, are positive on this one side, but then that reverse, and some people might think of it as negative. I think of it as balance, but like that reverse, both are necessary, and it wasn't giving balanced in that other story. So that's why I'm like, I feel like pieces are missing. You feel me? So yeah, I like that. I like that. It is giving extremes. Okay. Sometimes I gotta preach. I ain't even gonna say I'm sorry, because I'm not. Okay, that's what y'all think about. Okay, the suppository of ancestral memory. Say that. It's not, coincidental that if you can see on the cover, it is a snake that is going in a circle and eating its own tail. Like that circle of life, that continuation, that life and birth, that hot and cold, like that duality is sacred. It's important. Like there's space for all of it.
And also, I wanna also know, because I was watching I've been heavy in like Christian, like just learning Christianity throughout, because it's just like, I feel like the way that we give meaning, like meaning is a real big thing. Like meaning and the way we draw a connotation to things is a real big thing, because meaning is created by us when we don't realize, and we get so confused because it's our creation. Like we just making that shit up, and in a sense we all in agreement to it. So when it comes to opinions, and that's why we disagree, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have different opinions and shit, because we are different people and we live different realities, and meaning is just a collective of opinions. Like that's what it, to me at least, that's my definition of meaning. Like meaning is just now facts is when we put numbers into it. That's when shit gets factual. But like meaning and stuff, like, girl, we just all agreed upon that shit. That's like colloquialism and shit like that. Like when we use certain verbiage and shit, like for per to mean yeah bitch, like we just made that shit up. But he was talking, I was listening to this prophet, and he was talking about, he was like, witchcraft is just essentially just manipulation. Like that manipulation just means like you're shifting something, like you're turning something into something else. And it's like, is like, it's just like alchemy pretty much. And he was like, the thing about the enemy, what he does is he perverts things. He was like, it's not that the serpent represents, like what you said, the serpent represents knowledge, and it wasn't the serpent that was, you know, the knowledge isn't fucked up. It's what you do with that knowledge, and the things that he was doing with knowledge, he was like manipulating us. So like, you know, using it is how you use it. And that's why I feel like using witchcraft can be dangerous if you don't know what the fuck you doing. Like it really can. Like, because if you don't know what you're doing, you could fuck some shit up because you're in control. You're now in control of your reality, in control. Now you're accessing things that you don't. If you don't know what you're doing, babes, it's about to be like free will is free will, babes. Like, like you about to start a fire. So I don't know. So I just thought that was interesting. So I think people took the Bible and I think niggas is pussy. I think niggas took the Bible. The way I speak is hilarious. I think people took the Bible and out of fear was like, damning witchcraft or whatever. But I'm like, out of fear was like, you know, witchcraft this, witchcraft that, witchcraft this. Things can only affect you amongst what you allow, like in a sense. Like if you're divinely protected by your spirits or whatever you call in, you're going to be good. Like I'm like, you just don't know your word and you not versed in any what you believe in. Like say it again.
I said, okay, say that fear word again, because that's really what
Like
it is.
you don't know your word, bro. Like you don't even know what you like. It's fear mongering. Definitely a lot of fear mongering. Like you need to like when people realize like when it comes to like debates and stuff like that, like you have to learn about your opposition. Like so like if you're a Christian, like you need to actually learn the real truth about these other religions that are like going on. And when you realize what is actually going on, you realize it's not what you actually think it is. You just realize like this is not for me, like type shit. Like so that's just how I feel. Yeah. TED Talks with T.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem. Thanks for having this space for us.
Oh my goodness, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I was like, dang, there's so many things I wanted to say, but yeah, no, it's not lost on me that the snake being just this idea that like snakes have like so much like, and like especially like in Africa, I don't know, I can't speak for other people, but like in like Nigerian especially, but like in like ontology and like that being like like you're talking about that being like this suppository of ancestral memory, but also just the fact that like there's so many things in nature that like again going about that fear mongering, like people are taught to be afraid of snakes. And even just like thinking about that like parallel, like, oh, say we're also taught to be afraid of our ancestral practices. And oh, now we're calling it witchcraft. And don't go look too hard about that because that's actually not what God wants. And really, you find out that no, it's just like just a tool of disempowerment. Like when you go and you find like you go look at that stuff, it's like no, that's not what it is. Like it's the very practices that we could literally use to break out of like capitalism and white supremacy that they're trying to tell us like, oh, don't go over there, because they know that if we do, like we're going to start thinking really hard about the things that we've been taught, and then we're going to start mobilizing and talking about how we can actually like conjure our way out of this. And yeah, they won't be so scared about the word conjure. Oh my God, but y'all love the word manifestation. Now what's the difference, baby? Tell me. Yeah, it's all fear mongering. Like, but yeah, no, you was really speaking to you on that one. Like the fact that like it's so much so that so much of it is that like, yeah, don't think too hard. And also I'm thinking about that thing people talk about, oh, knowledge is power. And it's like, yeah, but also it's like knowledge is knowledge, but y'all want to make everything about power. And then you use knowledge to disempower people, like either withholding the knowledge or changing what you're teaching, right? And it's like it's like instead of it being like this thing of like let's all constantly be talking to each other and trying to disseminate this knowledge, or like let's gatekeep it, let's keep it only for certain people, let's this like this perversion of things that so. And yeah, and it's like even with just Christianity or just like, and it's not even just with Christianity, some other things too, but just this idea that some people have a ticket on like speaking to the divine, and now you have to only come through me, and you gotta make, and it's like, no, why I have to come to you to like, the divine is within me. I can have a one-on-one conversation. We don't need to pay telephone, baby.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's truly the thank you for me. Child, but yeah, I'm hearing everything that y'all saying, and I feel like, yeah, no matter, I'm one of those people that I'm a firm believer that like there are different ways to get to the knowledge, right? And there are different interpretations of the knowledge, and you need to be as well informed as you can be about all the things. Of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. That doesn't mean don't know about it. Like T's saying, like that might not be your thing, that might not be your bag. However, comma, you should still get you some knowledge, educate yourself on some things so that you can know what you're saying yes and no to. It's not just what you're saying yes to, or just saying yes because you were told to say yes. Like, what are you actually agreeing to, not agreeing to? What do you take and keep it close to your heart, and what do you take and be like, thank you, next? Like, that's really tea. So moving into the next slide, more questions to discuss. These were some of the like building blocks of like things I wanted to talk about during this world event and discuss as a collective while dreaming and world building. And some of the questions are, as the world continues spinning, society is once again shaking under the weight of revolution. Current systems are crumbling, and we want to know, what are your dreams for after the dust settles? How can we call in those dreams now? And what are some of your wildest dreams? Imagine systemic oppressions of capitalism, racism, homophobia no longer exist. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple of moments to think about these things. And you can either journal about this. I would really love to hear y'all's voices in the space more. So if you want to come off mute and you already feeling like, I want to talk about this, we can do that. You can also put it in the chat, whatever works best for you. But we'll give y'all 2 minutes just to start thinking about it. And then I'm gonna kind of start talking again. But just so you have some time to reflect in silence. I'm not even gonna like play any music because I really want y'all to just tap in and listen to your body, listen to your ancestors, your inner child, whoever is speaking and coming up to say something to answer these questions. But what are your dreams for after the dust settles? How can we call in these dreams now? And what are some of your wildest dreams?
Wait, you got 2 minutes for all of that?
No. I'm just gonna give 2 minutes of silence. Yeah. Yeah. So 36 now after the hour before I start talking again. So just to check in real quick, I have a few other things to offer y'all while you're reflecting and thinking about this. And then I'm gonna give y'all like 10 minutes to journal, gather your thoughts. In that 10 minutes, if you wanna put anything in the chat, if you wanna come off mute, feel free. This is like very flexible, very informal space. But while I was thinking about these questions, specifically the one about what are some of my wildest dreams, because that's really like the first question that sparked more of these. Ande asked me, and like the answers that I immediately gave, I ain't gonna lie, they were work related. And like work, I don't, have a like traditional 9 to 5. I'm not in corporate America, so it wasn't like that bad. However, I don't have work-life balance. So I'm just like, yeah, like this stuff about art and this stuff about spirituality, this stuff about a book. And like it was all work related as far as like I have to be working, even if it is my divine work, even if it is like ancestral work, creative work, just still me doing. And I'm not gonna lie, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, oh, those are your wildest dreams, girl. Like, try again. And then I was able to think of more things, but like, I just want us to consider that. Like, what are the first things that come up? And then when we like sit with that reality, what then comes up from there? Because I like learned after, I don't even know, when I started unlearning things in life, that like, oh, the first thought that comes to your mind is not you, it's your conditioning, right? And so you might see something and then have a real fucked up thought, and then you catch it and you're like, oh, actually that's not a good thought, like that's not polite, whatever. And then you're like, actually, and you correct it. It's like you can't necessarily beat yourself up about that first thing. You sat with it, took the stock, and then you moved from there with more authenticity, with more grounding, right? So that's like an extreme example, but like for me it was like, oh, this is authentic because these are things that I do dream about and I do want to do. But now that I've realized that this is still very work related, like I need to give myself more space to play, more space to just be, more space to enjoy, like what do those dreams then look like? So I just want to like invite y'all to ground. And yes, exactly, Jasmine, think bigger. Like if y'all on TikTok, I really love that sound. You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big, think big. So think big, allow yourself to really unfold in the question. And yeah, I'm gonna give you 12 minutes because I want it to be round. Okay, I love that TikTok. 50 after the hour. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna keep it rolling, but feel free to let your mind play, go all the way into outer space, go into the depths of the ocean, go wherever you need to go to really expand fully, to think about after the dust settles, your dreams and how to call them in. Thanks, y'all. All right, y'all can start wrapping up those sentences and those thoughts and start coming back into the space. And of course, remember that you can always revisit these questions. I will also send these questions to y'all, so that you can have them, the little visuals as well, like the whole PowerPoint y'all are gonna get, because there's some juicy stuff at the end. But yeah, so come back into the space. If you feel called, drop some things in the chat, come off mute. Would love to hear how that writing prompt was for you. You can share what you wrote to the questions, or what you daydreamed about, what you dreamt about, what you thought about, or you can even talk about how those questions made you feel, how writing about them. Oh, my video off. My bad, y'all. But how you feel, how it made you feel, what the experience was like, what the music made you feel, anything really, honestly. I just want to hear what y'all have to say, because I got a lot to say, me personally, but I'm gonna let y'all have the floor.
So I will share a little bit of what I was thinking about. I couldn't write it all because I I gotta keep stirring on this question, on the question about, and let me be specific. What are some of your wildest dreams? Imagine systemic oppressions, capitalism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, none of that exists. I would even add to that, like when it comes to like community, interpersonal relationships, like comparison is not there, like none of the ugliness that makes life just like is there. So that's how I was thinking of it. Honestly, I started from like spirit. I was like, I pray that people can return to spirit, return to the divinity within us all, to where it's like, okay, I view this person as an extension of myself, as an extension of spirit, but like I also believe myself to be, I am more than just this skin, and I act like it, you know what I'm saying? And not in a way to be pretentious or to be like I'm above people, but to be like, nah, like we are all one, you know what I'm saying?
and
And to be
save.
in harmony.
Mhm.
Yes, like to be in harmony with one another. Another thing, reparations for all descendants of like the African diaspora, and like that doesn't come with like questions of what does that look like. That comes finances, land, education, resources, just the abundance of those things. Again, in a spiritual context, like having a spiritual army that is literally like dismantling things in the present. Like we see the fall of capitalism in real time because of the spiritual army. We see the hatred be removed, and if the idea cannot be removed, this is a hot take, some people will have to pass on, you know what I'm saying? Like they will have to be removed from the physical, and that's okay, because that's how things will have to move. When I think about schools, I think just the educational pipeline has to literally be revolutionized. Like it has to be changed. Like, what are we really teaching children? Like there has to be a social emotional learning aspect. Like they should be learning about mindfulness and meditation, and what does healthy communication look like in not only their school, but with their parents, and parents being open to children disagreeing with them, and learning something that the parents don't know about. So it's like, I don't know, I was really dreaming. I was really, really dreaming of a new reality. So that's a little bit of what I journaled about.
Yes, come on. Thank you for sharing. Ashe, Ashe. That was really beautiful. I didn't jotted some things down because that no comparison hit home for me. I like that one for sure. I like that.
I'll go. Mhm. I like actually just did a free writing on it because I've done these questions before, but I was just like curious to just see like where spirit was gonna take me. And it's beautiful because some of the things Jasmine was saying, I'm just like, yeah, these are those things in the tangible sense. But I'm just read what I wrote because it came out in kind of like a little poetic way, I guess. It's the dust has settled once again. The masquerades dissipate, their quickened footsteps a mere memory, till we call them back again. They're never far. We feel them in our heart, their collective patter. We've metaphorically taken up each other's arms, hand in hand, walked and rolled and danced and skipped, praying, as in screaming and singing and shouting, sometimes silently, always together, until their walls of terror tumbled. But first, we started with the terrifying thoughts, the things we told ourselves, and with our treacherous tongue, using our words to lift each other up, conjuring spells to cast away the doubt that we would see this evil empire fall in this lifetime, in this physical form. And so now that they are gone, they do not live on in our bodies or in our heads or in our words or in our world or in this world. We were diligent, cunning, and calculating, carefully scrubbing their programming from reality, making them smaller, giving us space to grow and shift and expand into ourselves. Yes, there was grief and there was discomfort, but there was no shame, and we were not lonely. Now we are secure on this foundation. We rebuilt it with y'all, and for us. And for this reason, they showed us how, dropped it in our cells and in our memory and in our hands. That's as far as I got because then AJ was like, time's up.
Come on.
Ooh, thank you. I like that. I like that. Come on. Period. Y'all sharing with the shares. I love this already. I love this already. Anybody else want to say anything before I get on my little soapbox and start to preaching? It's like, make space, give space, make space, take space.
Can I highlight? Can I?
Ooh,
Side,
yeah.
do you want to? I don't.
No worries. Take your time. Take your time. I'm gonna share a little
I
bit of
just
my
want. I want to highlight
so
Ande's line,
feel free to
if
jump
that's
in
okay.
whenever you're ready. Um, I I had to sit with something, and like when I told y'all, like I was sitting with these feelings about why the wildest dreams that I had came out the way that they did. At first, I kind of touched on it a little bit, like it was on the tip of my tongue, but I didn't really catch it until I was sitting with these same questions again today. And honestly, the biggest difference between that day and this day is I've been showing up as myself and in my divine destiny and doing the work that I'm basically talking about and trying to get all of us to do, right? So that needs to be said. One. Two is that the reason I don't really have wildest dreams outside of my work is because I'm a seer. And like to me, there is no such thing as a wildest dream. It's not that wild. It's gonna happen. Like, so I be struggling because I'm like, okay, let me try to give more play, more room, more to expansion. And I'm like, but that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. And I'm like, okay, what do I mean when I say wildest dream? So that's important too. But I'm gonna come back to that. So you could go.
All right. Hey y'all. You got me. I was at D&D, but I've been writing. Um, what was wild about what I started with was I started writing before you started the timer, but what happened is, and what kind of ate is, you mentioned how there's like the first things that you can come up with are like it's your conditioning. And while I think that there's definitely my conditioning in there, I was like, I think it also kind of speaks to the foundation that was needed. Because like for example, I just moved out of my folks' place. Um, but it means that I get to miss some things. Like my brother just had his middle school dance. And like for a moment, my wildest dream was that I was there. Like I got to hug him and hype him up, and I just got to support him through that. Like that was the wildest dream I could think of. And like that when capitalism and all this bullshit completely crumbles, that my friends and family, we're all on the same page, we're moving in unison, we're there. And I think that that's necessary to accept, but that's not where we need to stay. So then when you started that timer for real, I said, okay, let's get busy. And I realized I I have my own Dungeons and Dragons like role playing game where I created a world because I wanted so badly to envision life without all this hell. And that world, I called it Cadence. It's a place where the regions don't have names because they don't need them. There are just people living that are just in collaboration and alignment with the space first and
You better
foremost. They
say
have
that.
attire that they wear that literally symbolizes this is where I'm at. Um, they're just aligned with the space. It's like solar punk. That's kind of the environment mixed with a lot of Afrofuturism when it comes to aesthetics and styles. You don't have to deal with money anymore. It's bartering. And it's not even bartering like you give me this, I give it. Can sometimes be bartering information. It can just be, and you have people where like everyone is literally just working together. It's the people from the place that like inhabit that world. They have their own way of doing things, but people from other places, they get to bring their culture and the things that mean and hold a lot of weight for them. They get to bring that into this world too. It is everyone being there, connecting with the space and connecting with each other. And it constantly just being like, there's not a person. When I say there's not a person that doesn't have a role, I don't mean that you're forced in a position, but everyone has a space. come on, President. But everyone has a space to exist here, and everyone has a space to look and embody the world how they want to. Like our relationship model, it's not about what one person wants to do. It's about how you connect together, the motivations you have as you're collaborating. Like there's that. And also I imagine myself being like iridescent. I imagine myself getting to shapeshift and change my form and to embody so many things simultaneously and travel and explore and not feel restricted or held back in that. Um, and for a moment, I was very like scared. Like I was like, oh my gosh, what is my wildest dream? And then I realized I've been slowly and surely building a space to at least try to imagine it. And I needed that reminder. So it almost brought me to tears for a minute, not gonna hold you. But yeah, those were my wildest dreams.
Period. We eating it up.
At least
I love
for now.
all of this. I love all of this so much. I'm like, ooh, I knew Sonia had to come because this, ooh, you gonna give us a message every time. 8 down, square root of 16, okay? Yes. Ooh, I need a moment. Shit. Yeah.
I low-key can't get over. Oh my bad. The fact that y'all's like, I already do this. Because Jasmine, as much as you didn't say that, even in the work that you be doing, the stuff that you was talking about education, you're like, I'm already making this happen. Like, and I love that because nobody expressly was like, how can we call it in now? But it's like we're actually calling it in now. Even like, okay, Tierra hasn't talked about it now too, but it's even like in the music that you make, it's like you're actively like calling in your dream, like that type of dreaming that's like making people think different. And I'm just like, I was having a conversation with AJ today where it's like, yeah, and it's we're taught to like always be striving for more. So then we feel like, oh, the little thing that we're doing is not that big of a deal, right? But it's like, no, it like Sai literally just like embodied that. It's like everybody has a role and not like, oh, we're forcing you. But when you do what you actually feel passionate about and what you like and what you love and the things that like you was brought here with, like the gifts and the talents, like we don't want for nothing. That's just beautiful, bro.
I love all of this. I love all of this because um you start to see like a thread, and I feel like the more I have this conversation, and so I'm really like, this is just solidified that like we're definitely having this same event like times two 2024, because this conversation needs to keep being had, like these dream sessions, like world building as collective needs to keep being had, because the more people I talk about it, I'm literally starting to envision the world more and more every day. Like I remember where I was 2 years ago when the spiritual girlies were just starting to get into the, like, not to be doomerism like ish or whatever, but like we're gonna have to start divesting from the government, start learning how to plan our own stuff, start learning how to be self-sufficient, but like, slow roll, because don't worry about it, like it's not gonna happen in your lifetime. And I'm like, who? It's not gonna happen in whose lifetime? I'm gonna outlive all of these systems of oppression, and that's on wildest dream, okay? Because I'm literally seeing it happen now. And I remember when I was back then, and I immediately was understanding it and seeing it from like a person with gifts and like sight, but like within my mundane like body, I was like, what is that going to look like? How do we get from here to there? Like I don't know about that. But in those 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was, I'm starting to see more and more pieces of this world come together. Like Sai was saying, literally building this like, virtual world, designing it how I want it to look. Like all of these people's ideas and dreams are informing what that world could look like to me. And it's like, yeah, when you said that, I'm like, you're so damn right. I do want to shapeshift. I do want telepathy. Let me add that on there. You're absolutely right. Like seeing what people dream of reminds you that it's safe for you to dream about things too. Like that could be a reality. Like, oh, add that to the list. You like that? Cool. Add it to the basket. And I'm like, if we all putting all of these different dreams in the basket, what is that dream basket gonna look like? What is that new world? Because that's what's gonna come from that gumbo pot is gonna look like, okay? Like word to the gumbo I just made, period. And that shit was good. Like I like this a lot. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. And it really just makes me think about too, I'm impressionable too, baby. It made me think about where I left y'all with this cliffhanger of like, yeah, as about that, right? As we see here, I'm just like, oh, I don't have wildest dreams because I'm like, that could happen. And also, what does it mean that the things that I'm like, it could be a wildest dream because I'm not really seeing it is my work. I'm like, do I really not believe that my work is gonna happen with the same like propensity I believe that I'm gonna meet SZA? No, it's not that. It's just like the society has conditioned me to believe that it's gonna take me to do XYZ amount of work that my disabled Black ass cannot do to make my shit pop. When spirit is like, all you have to do was be birthed, was come down into this body, into this timeline, into this life, and do what it is that you're called to do. So it's like I'm getting chills just thinking about it. That dang, where I was when I first thought of revolution anywhere near our lifetime, even just beginning to it actually, quickening and now being like, what are my wildest dreams? It has to do with work to now being like, actually, I have wildest dreams. It's just that as a dreamer, as a visionary, as a medium, I'm like, oh, all of this gonna happen. And it's like, I want all of us to, like lean into the understanding that like our dreams can become our reality easily without anything. Like I hate this whole idea of, oh, you got to work twice as hard to get this moving and that move. Nope. Just by being, just by breathing, just through my ashe, literally in the story, just through ashe. And there's no just, you know what I mean? But like to say that it doesn't have to be all this stuff that the world tells us it has to be. Like so I said, everybody has their lane, their thing that's like, this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I bring to the table. I'm just able to be because this is something I do. This is something I am. This is something I have innately, like Ande said in the meditation, it's all connected. But I really love that. And I'm like, some of my wildest dreams are to live life outside of capitalism and to see the fall of oppression and all of the different systems that pour into that. And I'm like, I share that will happen. Like, I want to be able to travel for free. So when you said like time traveling and like being able to zip zap, I said, ooh, take it up a notch. I like that. Okay, period. I also want to add, I want to learn the language of my mind and my ancestors because recently in conversation it came up that like English can be a barrier for a lot of us, even if it's our first language, because I feel like there's something even more primordial, even more ancestral, even more ancient that we haven't tapped into yet. Because I'm one of those people that believes like, if you grew up in a Bible, Christian, world, you know about the Tower of Babel and how there was a time where all the people were speaking different languages and yet we're communicating, we're thriving, we're living. I don't think that we just all need to speak one language because that's not necessarily it, but I think that we all need to understand each other's different languages. You feel me? So when you're talking about different people bringing what's unique to them and their place and where they're from, I'm like, I love that. Like we don't all have to be exactly the same, but we do have to be together as a collective and come together to use all of our individual things towards calling down these dreams. And some of the ways I put that I call in these dreams now is believing in them, writing them, letting them breathe, creating art out of them, tasting them, smelling them through meditation, through drugs and herbs, and through being who I'm divinely meant to be. Yeah. Yeah. But I love how like so many of the things that y'all have said, I'm like, this is just adding more to my after the dust settles list. And I pray that it's just gonna keep getting longer and more extensive and longer with each new collective dreaming, with each new collective world building, we're able to just like really flesh out this um you really like we're able to flesh out this picture and this image and really call down and alchemize these dreams because they're not placed in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies for no reason. They're not dreams just to be dreams. Like they're dreams, but they're also reality yet to happen that is already happening in another timeline. So yeah, when I start to spit, spirit and technology be fighting, but I hope y'all can still hear me. Ooh, I'm like, I don't want to talk y'all ear off because we still got some more magic. But if anybody has anything else to say, you can. And if not, we're gonna take a little break. Down with a break. Cool. All right. Like, is my Wi-Fi still working? Y'all done froze up. Hold up. Y'all say y'all down with a break? Can y'all still hear me and see me? Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we can. Oh, you want to do a break now? Because I had
No, go
something to
ahead.
say.
No, I just heard you.
Okay, I just feel like for me, it was just like I feel like it was difficult for me. Like you said, it was a lot of work. You gotta work. You bitches don't want to work these days, Kim Kardashian. But like it was a lot of work stuff. And I'm like, I just feeling like it's because I'm distant from my inner child. Like I feel like we have a lot of trauma surrounding our inner child because like it makes us it's joy. Like our inner child is connected to a lot of joy, but it's also connected to a lot of trauma. And so a lot of times we have fear of experiencing joy. So we block out our inner child. We've sacrificed our inner child. Like, so I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And I just started reflecting. When I started reflecting, I was like, let me do some stuff that I would want to do, like that I would do as a kid. Like Ande had this session last time, and we did that, and I went all out on my little invitation. I can show y'all, but it's down there, and I ain't got time. But yeah, so I was just like, let me start connecting to my inner child. So I was like going to conferences and workshops. Like that's fun to me, like workshops, making conferences, and then I was like, okay, amusement parks and festivals and stuff like that. I started spicing it up, but I was like, I feel like there's this disconnect about with the inner child, like when it comes to our dreams, like it suppresses our inner child. And I think when I also another like revelation that I have is like I feel like the enemy is like a a broken child. Like because the God is a father, like in a sense, or if you believe biblically, go God, whatever you believe in, it's like a father figure. God is like a father figure or a parental figure, like and so I feel like the enemy, like when you think of like an exorcism, like that's a child having a tantrum. Like so when we was talking about like perversion and like how the enemy like perverts things, like an exorcism is just letting things out. Like it don't have to be negative. Like and I think that's what we're trained to, we're socialized. This is like that fear mongering shit. Like we're trained to believe like when we're in our shadow or we're like shadow work and we're doing shadow work that we're like doing demonic shit. And I'm like, no, releasing. You have to connect with that negative energy in that negative space. So I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. It's just some things I came up with.
That's really real, child. Because Ande was just talking about some. Ooh, look, hot take. Inner child work is shadow work. They the same. Yep. Like a lot of
Same
you guys are
thing.
worried about shadow work. You need to be worried about that inner child.
Because the shadow erupted to protect the child. So the
Mhm.
child won't feel the need to be protected anymore. You're not gonna have no shadow baby.
Go to the source.
You keep going to the shadow, but the child is still scared. The shadow keeps coming back.
Okay, go to the source of the actual issue. Yeah.
You know what is crazy? This is the craziest thing since our inner child workshop. I had a dream. I don't usually share my dreams, but I had a dream and I was lucid dreaming, baby. I knew where because baby, I knew I was not in a regular place. And it was nothing but toys. It was like nothing but toys. And I was just like, it was to the fact that I was like so in control. I was like, this is weird. But I was scared shitless. Cause I'm like, when I have these type of dreams, it can either go really fucking wrong or it can roll really fucking good. Cause if I panic, everything in that bitch is gonna motherfucking change. But I was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try some different shit. I said, you know what? I'm about to play with these fucking toys.
Period.
And I
Word to
was
my
scared.
last message to you. I told you you need to lean into that play. You leaned
I
into
was
it.
scared than a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared than a bitch. Like I was so scared because I'm like, oh my god, it's toys everywhere. But I was like, it was like just different memories coming up suppressed. Like it was just so fucking crazy. And then at the end of it, they had like a slide that went into nothing. And I was like, I'm scared as shit to go down this slide. I seen this hole and I was like, I'm scared as shit to go down this slide. And I think I went through it. And I was scared of shit because I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna go. I went through it and I ended up in a neighborhood. And I was like, okay, I don't remember much after that, but I was just like, okay, but you did that. Cause all me would have been pussy. Like, you did that, Miss Girl. Like, okay. Okay. But
It's
yeah,
really
that
an
was a real
exciting
interesting
feeling
dream.
because you had that opportunity to be in a space and to be like, I'm really scared, but then you really were able to comfort yourself and be like, let's breathe through it. Let's choose something different. I got
Mm-hmm.
you. You're safe here to feel excitement, to
Mm-hmm.
relax into these toys and this joy and this play. You ain't got to be scared. It's good. You're good. And then boom, you
Yeah.
were good. I
Yeah,
love
I had to
that
give
too.
myself time to breathe. I was like, okay, we got this.
Yeah,
I
it
was like, I
feels
know
like
it's
on
scary, but you know
purpose.
what? I was like, I know it's scary, but you know what? We can have fun. Let's try to have fun. Like, like you just need a little encouragement in time and space. So that's what I did. And I was so proud of myself. I was.
Yes, I love that. I feel like that's a perfect segue into what we're about to get into after this break, because we're gonna get into the sleep and the dreams and the herbs and all the ting ting tings. So yeah, I love y'all. I'm so grateful for y'all to feel safe enough to share in this space, to dream in this space, to just be. Yeah. Excited about. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I love that. Bye. I saw the little wave. Bye, Sai. It is. Yeah. It's supposed to be another like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to. Would y'all rather? Yeah, we're supposed to end at 9:30. Would y'all rather take a break, or would y'all rather the stuff that we got coming up, which is a quick collective reading, and then getting into the sleep stuff, and then we'll run over. So it's really up to y'all. I can either go ahead with the stuff and we can skip the break, or we can take the break, chill, and then dive back in. Because what the heck is happening? Is y'all at this point? What y'all want to do? Yeah.
Can we do a 5-minute break and then
Hell
come
yeah.
back for the herbalism?
Hell yeah. We sure can. Wow. Let's do that. I love it. Okay. Okay. 5 minutes. I'm gonna stop it at 5. So stretch, get your snacks, get your drinks, do what you gotta do, and then when we come back, I'm gonna go through the herbs. 5 minutes. Bow, bow, a bow, a bow. Yeah, I'm back. And they getting food, and I'm gonna wait for Jazz. There go Jazz. Her. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm very excited about this portion of the event. And so I'm very honored that y'all have made it to this point and have been rocking with me, because all of that was exciting and I was excited about all of that. However, huh? What'd you say?
I said she wanted to do just this.
Okay, listen, this was gonna be the whole event. So I'm very excited about this. Also, this is like my first, I guess, big herbalism moment coming into the world. I want the world to know. Got to know. Okay, I'm an herbalist hoe. Period. That's my food. Yeah, child.
It's the fact that the rice is soaked up all of this.
True, child. So this part of the event is called Sleep Support, Mojo Bags, Herbs, Oils, and Teas, because that's exactly what we're about to be talking about. So like I said, it's a great segue from T's dream and healing in the dream world to now. So I'm going to be talking about basically what I've been doing, because as somebody who receives a lot of messages through dreaming and through dreams, like that's like one of the earliest signs that I had of my powers, my gifts, my connection to the divine was through dreams. And a lot of just like conditioning, life, all kind of other things, maybe really not pay attention to my dreams. Also, as somebody that like deals with chronic pain, like sleep can be really confusing for me and difficult, like not feeling fully rested. So I just really got tired of that. And also, as somebody who does smoke weed, like I kind of got tired of people being like, oh, if you want your dreams back, you're gonna have to smoke because stop smoking, because I was just like, I really want to tap back into my dreams and also get better rest, but I feel like I have to pick one because I'm like, oh, if I might smoke and relax myself and be able to get a better night's sleep, but I might not be dreaming because of that, or at least that was the connotation that people were drawing for me. But that just didn't sit in my soul right. And like everybody has what works for them. So if that works for other people, I love that. Quit and get those dreams back. Me, however, I was like, even before I started smoking weed, my dreams started leaving me. So it got to be something else. And yeah, Spirit was just like, it's not that we want you to stop smoking. We just need you to have more attention around your sleep ritual, your rest ritual, your dream ritual. And so I've been like working very, very tirelessly for like maybe 2 years now on like cultivating a sleep routine that I felt like comfortable with, and also, sharing that with other people because it's something that I talk about with other people all the time. Dreaming, sleeping, it's very important. So basically, after all this long period of time, I was able to come up with some things that work for me that I would like to share with y'all for better sleep, and also to help with like nightmares, and also to help with like dreaming and dream recall. This practice, like this combination of practices, is informed, by my spirits, by myself, by Ande, by different books that I've read. I don't know the name of that book that you have.
The Art of Spiritual Herbalism.
The Art of Spiritual Herbalism. That book by Yaya Karen and Rose. I like that book too. So yeah, just a combination of all these different things that I've been experiencing and utilizing like over the last 2-3 years kind of got me here. So first things first, you have to decide what you want to make. And for me, 3 Trinity Crossroads has been like a big thing for me. So I decided to lean into that and ended up making a mojo bag, an oil, and a tea. And I worked with all 3 like as a ritual over the course of a week straight, where I was like, I'm going to be very, very, very consistent with this because like, you be on and off when you're trying to cultivate something. But one day, can you drop it in the chat? Yeah. Thank you so much. But now I'm like, okay, I done finally got something through all these little experiments. I'm ready to really put it to the test and see. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, immediately, like one dream started being a lot clearer. I was able to really like know that I was dreaming. I don't have sleep paralysis or waking dreams. Like I'm not very aware of my body within my dream, but I can be aware of the fact that I'm dreaming, and also be able to recall a lot of that in the morning, at least a lot for me, and yeah, just better sleep, which I'm really grateful for. And all of these herbs and things have also been in conjunction with nightly meditation. So I want to preface with that. So I made all 3, but you can make 1 or 2, or do what works for you. Also, these are the herbs that I have like come to know that work for me with that book, The Art of Spiritual Practice, The Art and Practice of Spiritual Herbalism. Also, the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs I like to use as reference for different purposes, for different herbs, and of course, just like. Yeah, it's written by a white man that practiced Wicca. So I just preface by saying that take what resonates with what doesn't. I more so lean into. I'll show y'all one of the pages. Let's see, what do we do? I'm in the D, so let's do Damiana. It's in alphabetical order. It has illustrations, as well as the name of the plant, different like scientific names, folk names. I don't really prescribe to gender of plants, but the gender of plants, planets, elements, and powers, and also magical uses. The magical uses is kind of where I stop because I'm like, I don't know nothing about no Wicca. That's not my lane, but I'm interested to see what y'all talking about. However, I'm just like the actual like properties, the powers that I take and work with. So I might not be like, oh, this one talking about some. You can burn Damiana to produce visions. I'm like, do I believe in that? Not necessarily. Do I believe that Damiana can help you enhance visions and dream work? Yes. See what I'm saying? So I take it with a grain of salt. But I like to do a lot of cross-referencing with this. Like I'll like feel called to an herb and then I'm like, okay, let me go look it up. Like what is it talking about? So I like this one-stop shop, and God willing, dreams allowed, I will make one of these either in collaboration with the community or on day before the end of my days. So y'all be on me about this, but we need a Black version. Um, but yeah, the herbs that come from those two books and just the divine like speaking through me are lavender for sleep and peace, jasmine for prophetic dreams, mugwort for visions, damiana for visions, anise seed, which is different than anise star, for protection and purification, chamomile for sleep, rosemary for healing, sleep, and also protection, thyme for psychic powers, and some bonus ingredients are cinnamon for abundance and rice for protection. And I'll come back to those two as we move forward. But these are just some like, ooh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a couple questions. You may answer them later, so I'll just say them now. When it comes to the rice, does it have to be cooked rice or can it be like raw,
Dry raw rice. You don't want it cooked.
dry raw rice?
Mhm.
Does it matter? Like, could it be wild rice, white rice, brown rice? Does that matter?
I'll say do what you're called to do. Also make the magic easeful. Like with me rooting a lot of my practices in hoodoo, I'm gonna use those in the kitchen. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but if you feel it in the back of your throat that basmati is what you need and you ain't got no basmati, you can pick up some basmati, when you're next in the store. But you can also like try to look up like indigenous, like different like origins of rice and get into the whole depths of it. Really, honestly, I like that. But yeah, do make the magic useful. Word to JT Perry. Use what you got.
My other question
It's me.
is for, I have a couple more, but for the oils,
Mhm.
um, or can I consume the oil? Like, am I making it to consume it, like, with the applicator and everything, or am I making it to like rub on me, say my prayers, or put it in the shower, put it in a bath, things like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have never consumed the oil. I'd have to look more into that. I feel like depending on what carrier oil you use, it could be, and then if you don't add any essential oils, which we'll get into, it could be edible. But this is more of a topical oil as far as what I'm letting where I'm leading you. But of course, jump from there wherever you want to go. So if you feel called to make an edible oil, please let me know because I would like to know more about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested in that because topicals, I've used the topicals before,
Yeah.
but I don't know, ingesting it just kind of perked up. I just thought about it. And then cinnamon, I love cinnamon. Yes, abundance, all of that. Cinnamon, you said make it easeful. Never mind, not even gonna ask that question. Make the practice easeful. I'm not even gonna ask about cinnamon sticks or cinnamon powder. We good.
And
You got it,
also,
baby. I'm good. I'm done.
you're good. And when we get into it, like depending on what you use it for, it might change how you want to work with it. You feel me? But yeah, so these are just gathering herbs. But of course, I wanted to say too, like you don't need all of these. You can like very much move with what feels aligned, what feels right, also what you have, what's accessible. And in the next slide, I'm going to get into like how we're going to use them in different ways because not all of them will be necessary for everything. Let's go on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go. So for the mojo bags, first of all, I'm going to say that you need some type of essential oil. I use lavender for mine. You need cotton balls, which represent clouds, lavender, the actual herb, if you have it, mugwort or damiana or both. Like lavender and jasmine are kind of interchangeable with a lot of this, and mugwort and damiana are also interchangeable. But if you have both and you feel called to use both, go for it. Um, anise seed, chamomile, rosemary, and thyme. So this is what my mojo bag looks like. And we'll get into it more in the next slide, but I just wanted to show y'all. Y'all can see all those things. So for the oil now, topical oil, you need an essential oil. If you're gonna put it on your body, if you're gonna ingest it, no essential oil. Lavender, rosemary, or jasmine. You need carrier oil. I recommend almond or coconut oil, but like we talked about, if you want to do like a extra virgin and consume it, that could be really cool. mugwort or damiana, anise seed, chamomile, rosemary, and thyme. And then for your tea, you want to get lavender or jasmine, mugwort or damiana, chamomile, rosemary, thyme, and rice. So that's where the rice comes in. And so because you're going to be steeping it in hot water, that's why you want it um, to be uncooked, also for storage purposes. Yeah. And I will also send you all these visuals so you'll have them to reference. All right, and then next you'll need a container. So for the mojo bags, organza bags are what I find most useful. I like to double mine because some of the herbs like chamomile are very fine sometimes. Like I use chamomile tea bags because I'm making my magic useful. And that chamomile and the tea bags are real fine. So I double my organza bags. That's why you can see two different colors because I doubled it to kind of keep that contained. And yeah, so you need an organza bag and cotton balls for your oil blend. You need your carrier oils or essential oils and something to put it in. And then also like a dropper bottle or, a jar, a cup, literally whatever you want to use to hold it. And then the tea, same thing. You need a jar, something to hold it in, but also like a tea ball or something to diffuse or like strain your tea. Because with it being loose leaf, you want to have a way to get that out. Also, something I learned very recently is that a lot of herbs do not want to be overheated. So you don't want to put them into your hot water until it's boiled and it's ready to go. So when you steep, you only need like 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want to really go over 10 minutes because then a lot of your herbs will start to get very bitter, like get overactivated, lose their properties, whatever the case may be. Yeah, turn off your water once it starts boiling and then let it cool just a little bit and then go ahead and steep, but we're gonna get into that. So got the mojo bag for the visuals. This is the mojo bag. This is my tea. I just have a little jar that I found and a little spoon to spoon it out. I'm like almost out, but it's my tea. And then for my oil, I have a little spray bottle and it's very, very herby, very potent. So
I like that.
like that. I like that. So let's get into it. So first with the mojo bag, to create your mojo bag, I don't know why it says Mojo brand. I'm gonna change that before I send it to y'all. But Mojo bag, you'll need to first apply lavender oil or whatever essential oils you use, if it's lavender, jasmine, or rosemary, to your cotton balls. And then you combine the different selected herbs that you've chosen with the cotton balls and your ashe into the organza bag. So you want to set your intention and select a place around or in your bed to place it. So when I was first introduced to using mojo bags for sleep, Ande made me one to help me move through bad dreams. I was having bad dreams and I don't generally have nightmares. Like I haven't since I was like a kid. And so it was kind of random for me. And literally the first night of having it, no bad dreams. Like I slept so good. It was actually amazing. And it also made me like feel a lot more at ease and calm to actually consider that bad dream and like what that was about and what could have possibly brought it along or what messages it might have been able to tell me, whatever. And so from there, I took Ande's mojo bag that they had created for me and added other herbs to it that were going to help me not just with my bad dreams, kind of like a dream catcher in a sense, but also to stimulate better sleep, to stimulate more visions and more like prophecies and insight in my dreams because I know that that's something that I'm already prone to, but I really wanted to give it some herbal aid and some herbal help to bring it along, kind of coax it out. So I'm like, if I'm really relaxed and I got this in my pillow, I put mine right in my pillowcase. I'm good. And this can last for months. Okay. It's really up to you. If you're really into aromatherapy and you get it to smell, real lavender, rosemary, jasmine, and you want to refresh it, you can do that. But the herbs themselves last for a long time. With them being dried, you don't really too much have to worry about it going bad or anything like that. If you put any fresh herbs in there, then be kind of more aware of expiration and how long it can last in your bed, depending on the temperature of your space and everything like that. But dried herbs are the best way to go if you don't want to too much worry about having to like redo it and move it. But hey, if your spirits are like, we need them fresh, you need to do it once a week, then that's beautiful too. But that's the mojo bag. Do you have any questions about that one?
Oh, I've been off mute this whole time, child. Anyway, the mojo bag, where do you keep it? Do you put it in your purse? Do you put it,
I put mine
you
in
know,
my
my grandmother
pillowcase. In my pillowcase.
pillowcase? Okay,
When I had a bed
okay.
frame that was canopy style, I used to hang mine right above my head. But now that I don't have a canopy style bed, I just put it right in my pillowcase and I sleep on it.
Love. Okay, thank you.
Definitely. Okay, very good question. Okay, so the next one is the oil blend. First and foremost, it's optional if you have the means, but if you have like a mortar and a pestle or a grinder, I recommend really grinding up all of these herbs together, not just grinding them down, but grinding them together so that they can really like dance and play together and really become one. That added like grinding and working it down is like an extra step of magic, and you can also use that time to set your intention and your ashe. You can grind clockwise and say, you know, you want this oil to help calm your system down and like relax you, and that's mostly what I use my oil blend to do. But of course you can set whatever intention you'd like around your sleep and your dreaming. I use my oil blend to kind of relax my body and bring me down like those herbal aids, because I'm like, from the time I stop smoking for the day, that herb has clocked out, and then boom, my night shift come in with my herbal blend, and it relaxes me even further. And then I have my mojo bag for when I'm actually sleeping. But in between, when I put on that oil and I go to sleep with that mojo bag, I have my tea. So that's kind of how I do. But let's hop into the oil blend. So whether you break it down or you don't, either is fine. You have your different herbs. You want to add cinnamon at this point because that's the bonus herb, and cinnamon adds an extra bit of abundance, an extra bit of like just like supercharging, bringing that fiery energy into the mix to really like bring it all together. And I just really love cinnamon. That's like it's just like very cozy vibes. Like so many things about it. I feel like it's really nice. The smell, the energy that it brings, the magic that it brings, like a lot of abundance and protection, peace. Yes, I like cinnamon for that. So I add cinnamon in the oil blend, but I don't add it in my mojo bag or my tea. But that's just me. You can definitely add it in the other two if you'd like. But you combine those herbs, like we said, you set your intentions, you add your ashe, and then you combine it in a carrier oil. Because if you have essential oils in there, or even if you don't, you need something to hold like the container, not just the container, but the container of the oil. So that's your base. Coconut and sweet almond were the ones I use in my day to day. So they were like, yep, making that magic, real easeful kitchen and medicine cabinet magic. I'm gonna use what I got. So I mix those all together into a vial or a jar, and I use it nightly before bed. And then next is the tea, but let me ask if y'all have any questions about the oil. Okay, great. So the tea blend being last, like I said, you're gonna go ahead and boil your water and then combine your different herbs that you selected with your rice, and you add your desired serving. I use about 1 to 2 spoons. It's a pretty light color, like when I make it very light yellow. It's not a very like potent looking, like super steeped tea. It's very light and really chill. You can add a little bit of milk if you want to, but put those spoons into your tea ball or into your pot, however you want to make the tea, and only leave it in for about 10 minutes max. If you need to do a little bit longer, you know, you can kind of feel it out and see what your herbs are saying to you. And you flavor it to your liking. If you use sugar, honey, oat milk, you can go ahead and do that. I would say I personally don't add any sugar because that's added stuff that I don't want to really get into. So I just try to drink it like straight, like the herbs as they are. But if I'm gonna add anything, I just add like a little dot of milk just for taste. And I drink that, and that's the last thing I drink before bed. So to recap, I put on my oil while my water is boiling. I grab my little serving of tea, I steep it, and then when I'm ready, I get in bed and I drink that tea while I do a nightly meditation, either by myself or with Ande. And it's usually something very soothing, very relaxing. And as I drink that tea, I got my oil blend and I got my mojo bag in the bed. I start to enter the dream space in a very calm and relaxed sense. And doing that whole practice, like not really having any stimulus other than the meditation, is also really vital. I try not to be on my phone at all during that time. Nothing really like, oh, yes, absolutely. Definitely want to talk to and thank the herbs and build a relationship with them. Absolutely. Thank you for that reminder. While setting your intentions and adding your ashe, that's a perfect time to thank your herbs for the work that they're doing, because you want to be in right relationship with them and have a consensual relationship with the herbs, especially herbs that we use ritually, like something that you're using back to back. That's even more reason that you want to have that right relationship with it, and you talk to the herb. Even you can ask the herb what it wants to help you with for the day, because they have more than one use. You know what I mean? You can ask them to come together and all give each other a hand in helping you with X, Y, or Z. So I'm glad that you reminded me of that. Yeah, you don't want to replicate exploitation or bad working relationships with these herbs or your spirits. Consent is key. I be always putting on every flyer, every live, everything consensually this, consensually that, because we got to be aware. We got to be explicit and aware of the fact that there are ways to manipulate and overwork and overuse and exploit these herbs and these practices and these spirits, right? The same way we got to make sure that we in right relationship with ourselves. So yeah, that's all important. But also, the last thing on the slide is journal when you rise. So with dream recall, journaling or voice memo or whatever is really important. It can be very hard because you're just like, as soon as you wake up, you see the dream still, you remember it still probably, and then you're like, by the time I try to really put it into words, it's starting to slip. So what I do with that, come on, dogs, like give me like 5 more minutes. What I try to do with that is to just get out whatever I can in the first couple of moments of me waking up. Like, and voice memos are really helpful for me sometimes when I can't even get words together. But if I can, I'm gonna write them down. No matter how it looks, how it sounds. I'll be like yellow, brown, dog, chicken. Ande was there and it was noon. You know what I mean? It might not make no sense, but I'm gonna write it down because later in my day, something might trigger a memory of another part of the dream. Or I might be telling Ande like, man, my dream was wild. I feel it in my body. I can't conceptualize why it was wild, but in my body, because your body's gonna remember. I'm like, it was good. Like it was tea, or it was real hectic, like whatever the thing is. And then the more we talk about, I'm like, oh, you're right. Actually, yeah, you might ask me a question, something. I'm like, oh, you're so right. Actually, this person was there. I was doing this. I wonder why this was like that. And then you can add on to that note. So you already have, a little jumping spot, a little diving board, and then you can just keep going deeper and deeper into it. And then you might even find that like days after, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm having this recall of this dream. And you go back to the notes and you add that too. Or you might even just be rethinking about a dream, rereading it, and you're like, wow, like this new meaning is like coming to. And so it's like opening up space for those messages to come, like not having any expectations of what it's going to look like or sound like, and just like accepting how it flows out, and knowing that more will be revealed. Because one thing my dad taught me about my dreams, which the only thing we talked about my dreams, was that your mind and your body will try to get you through your dreams to pay attention. So you might first start in the beginning of your week with like little dreams where you're like, okay, a little thing here or there, that's cute, like nothing too major. I was at the park and a cat ran across the street and it was adorable, and that's it. And that's all you remember. You're like, that's random. Like, why do I remember this so vividly? Because your body is starting to practice, to be remembering. What'd you say, baby?
I was on the green, baby. That's all.
yeah, starting to practice and remember and be like, okay, now I'm paying attention to my dreams. Now I'm recalling my dreams. I'm aware of my dreams because you're going to dream, whether or not you're aware of it, whatever that looks like for you when you're sleeping, something is going on in your brain, in your body, something's going on. But yeah, those like smaller dreams and starting like real basic, real simple, and just allowing it to be what it is. Take whatever comes and be like, okay, notice it and then let it go and more you'll start to build. And then when you get a big download in your dream, you're not just like, oh, what is going on, and like, I don't even know how to recall this. Now you're like, okay, I'm so glad that I've been working with this herb and now I'm able to actually be present to this download and like learn something about my past or something about the future or something about myself, about my family members, about an herb, about a song, about a business idea, a creative endeavor, whatever the thing may be. Like, so many different kinds of downloads can come from dreams. And if we allow ourselves to just take away some of that expectation and that pressure and give ourselves some of these tools to support like the ease and the flow, you go untap some things, unlock some things too. Yeah. Okay, if you know somebody that you would like to invite that needs to come to this conversation and be in this space and bring their ashe, let us know. Nobody will ever be like turned away for lack of funds and they in community. And of course, we're open to bartering, shoot. So let the people know. But
you need a t-shirt, let me know.
okay.
When you get a t-shirt design, let me know.
Okay. They say, can I get some Area Adventure t-shirts?
Some who?
Area Adventure t-shirts. Ande J.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking like you said something else. I was like, some who? Like,
Okay.
I'm thinking we talking about. I had to catch on. I was like, okay, you know what? But you can't. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can.
I'm so glad that y'all stayed to the end. I really appreciate y'all's time, your presence in this space. I love being in community with y'all so much. Y'all are so special to me.
We love you back. We love you back. Thanks for having us.
Have a lovely evening, okay?
I don't even know what I'm about to
Get
do
good
myself.
rest. Get that good rest, okay?
You speaking because I was about to work.
It is Saturday. It is December. Quarter four. It's quickly coming to an end, okay? Get you some rest. Tomorrow is a new day. That's my favorite thing to say.
It just everything said. I loved it, and also the one I've been saying to myself constantly is kill the capitalist in your hand.
Bro,
Come on.
Yeah, kill a nigga dead.
If I was in church, I'd take a victory lap on that one. Okay.
Me stomping. Let them use y'all. Period.
Hallelujah.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. Let me actually go eat this gumbo finally and smoke me a blunt. Bye.